Start with Michael.
Mayor Skoog,
Present.
Vice Mayor Anderson,
Here.
Councilmember Grossman,
I'm still here.
Councilmember Mallory is absent this evening. Councilmember Marshall,
Here.
Councilmember Nye,
Likewise.
and Councilmember Whiting.
He's here.
Okay, we have a quorum there.
Thank you, Diane. Discussion, wastewater treatment plant in influent screen purchase. Neil, that was a heck of a mouthful.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. All right. Now we get to get into the fun stuff.
Aren't your high maintenance?
All right. So I have a presentation here to show you what we were talking about here, and then it'll last not very long, maybe 5 minutes, and we can get out of here.
We're going to take 5 minutes for crying out loud.
At least, yeah.
Never seen the screen.
Okay. So we need to replace some equipment down at the wastewater treatment plant, and it's one of the screens at the influent or the beginning part of the wastewater treatment plant. This is a diagrammatic view of what it is, and so the screen sits down in the channel, water passes through it. The bigger material that's bigger than about 1/4 of an inch gets caught up in the screen, and then it gets pulled out and put in a dumpster. I've got a couple pictures just to kind of show you, and I'm going to... So this is the headworks. You can see that there's 3 screens right in a row, the oblong things. There's one in each of those channels. There's a closer view. Okay, this is looking down into it. This is the auger that carries things out. This is part of the screen and rake system that removes the foreign material. And now we get into kind of the discussion. I do need to apologize because there is an error in the information that you've got. We're actually wanting to buy a new unit to replace the one that's now broken. 2 of them have been in service since 1993, and here's a history of the two of the screen, actually 3 of them, but one of them, the newer one, was put in 2007 when the plant was expanded. So that one's much newer and has not seen the same amount of life as the other 2. The information that is incorrect is that I believe what I said in here was that the cost of repair was estimated to be about $70,000. That is erroneous. We believe the minimum cost for repair is going to be about $40,000, but it could go up from there depending on what they say. It's going to cost us $7,000 just to ship it back to the factory, have them do an inspection on it, and then ship it back to us. So the shipping and inspection is $7,000. At that point in time, based on what we're seeing wrong with the unit and based on what we've paid in the past for similar repairs, we believe that we're going to be at a minimum of $40,000 and then whatever else they find wrong with it. So anyways, we're still recommending that it is time to replace this unit with a new one. And so if you so choose, we would spend the $96,000 or $97,000 from the contingency fund out of the wastewater enterprise. I think with that I could answer any questions you might have or clarify anything I've said.
Laura?
You don't even have a guarantee if you ship it and have it repaired of how long the extended life would be.
That's correct, and you can see that every year we have been paying, a certain amount to do minor maintenance, and then every once in a while we get hit with a bigger repair. We just know that, it's now 23, 24 years old. This one's going to be a big repair. We may as well put an all-new unit in where everything in it is good. And looking over at screen number 3, that one was put in 2007. So we've gotten 5 years out of that one so far with just one minor repair. So we would be back to kind of the beginning of that cycle with a new one.
Okay. Thank you, Neil.
Good. Any other questions, Mike?
I was just curious where they're located right now. They're all together, it seems like, all three?
Oh, at the plant?
Yes.
Yes.
Are they at the treatment plant?
Yes.
Okay.
Outside.
This picture.
I don't know.
Okay, so there's what you're looking.
Right.
Okay.
Good.
So yes, all three of the ones that we have are right down in what we call the headworks, or where the wastewater comes into the plant.
Okay, because I don't even recognize the plant from this angle. Looks so nice, the environment.
Neil, did you offer to give a tour to any council persons that want to go down and see where the rotomats are at the plant, that they're welcome to do that?
I don't have to make that offer because it's always a standing offer, and I think they all are aware of that. So.
Remember when you had us all there and served everybody hamburgers?
Yes,
Oh, brother.
best hamburger I ever had.
Okay, I won't comment.
Now, you said this was from the Enterprise Contingency Fund?
Wastewater Enterprise Fund contingency.
so
We have
this is-
$100,000 in there, and we have to transfer it, for budgetary purposes, we have to transfer it from contingency into an equipment line item, which is what the action next week, if you so choose, you will be taking, and then we will purchase it.
But this is actually wastewater contingency.
That's correct, yes, sir.
Dollars.
Yes,
So we're not,
not general
Yeah.
fund. It is
Okay.
waste, yes.
Enterprise money. Yeah.
okay. All right, thank you.
Marty?
Yeah, Neil, just to follow up on what Laura Lee started asking, what's the expected life of a new unit?
Well, in talking with the manufacturer's representative, and I don't always trust them, he's actually surprised that the two units we have are still functioning. So,
So you're talking 25 years?
we hope to get 25 years out of the next one as well. That's what we would hope, but we don't know. I would say, yeah, you should get 20 years out of something like this, as long as you're maintaining them properly. This is a tough environment because they're constantly working, 24 hours a day. They are oftentimes, there's large chunks of wood that can hit in there, or you get rocks or whatever, and these screens see all kinds of stuff. So it's a tough service environment. But we've got, like I say, we've got 23 years out of the two. The other one now is going on 6 years, and we've seen some.
What did we pay for that one 6 years ago? Was it the same 96,000?
I don't know. I didn't go back to see how much we paid for that one.
I'm just curious as to how, how quick these things are increasing in price and what the price might be 25 years from now. So if 7 years ago we paid $30,000 and it went up $60,000 in cost, then yeah, let's buy it now, because if they're going to go up at that rate, then 25 years from now it'll be totally prohibitive. So
Yeah,
we'll see.
I don't think it was $30,000. I mean, I would expect that this unit maybe was $70,000 6 years ago, or somewhere in that neighborhood, but I don't know without going back and actually looking, and I don't know that I could actually find the numbers, because it was part of the expansion of the wastewater treatment plant. It was a bid, so there wasn't a line item for everything. So there wasn't a line item for the influence screen and a line item for this pump and that pump. It was kind of all lumped into more larger cost items. So like the headworks expansion itself could have been a line item in there, and we might have had an overall price for adding an additional channel and adding that screen, but we probably wouldn't have the equipment price by itself.
Okay, because I know when you're looking at stuff, I want to see how it was made 10 years ago and how it's made now, and a lot of times, I mean, you see it with cars, you see it with motors, where they substitute metal parts for plastic or some other material, and the new material is not going to be as good or last as long as the old material. So sometimes that's why, it might be beneficial to repair it for the $40,000, because the material, the parts that are in there are just better made than the new parts that we will be buying with the new unit. So I'm just trying to get that information.
That is true, and in fact, we can go that way if you would like us to do that. We can ship this one back and spend the $7,000 and see what they say the cost is going to be to repair it. There is a caveat in their paperwork that says that, you know, they'll give you the estimate, and then while they're repairing it, if they see anything else wrong, they will not continue repairing it until you agree to pay them the remainder of the amount. So that's just balancing that. What are you saying over there?
I said I had not a mechanic like that once.
Did you keep him or did you fire him?
I fired him.
Okay, so it's just, we know it's going to be at least 40,000. We don't know what the upper end is at this point, and so at this point in time, it is our recommendation to replace it because we think we could be getting into a can of worms here, especially with the, you know, the known minimum cost on it.
Thank you.
Other comments, questions? To me, it sounds like, Vice Mayor says bring it back for vote.
One other comment is, I put in here that the other screen that's 23 years old, we would budget it, put in next year's budget. I actually don't think we should do that because it actually hasn't had the same number of repairs as number one has had. So I think what we would probably propose to do is either, if it fails next year, we would pay it out of contingency again, or we would budget, say, $50,000 in our equipment, pull part of it out of that and part of it out of contingency. But to replace a unit that's still functioning just because it's older, I think, you know, we might get 4 more years out of it. So we're going to kind of play that one by ear, I think.
Vice Mayor?
Well, I'm not as concerned about putting the other one into the budget next year, because as long as it's coming out of enterprise contingency, just leave it there. That's fine, because we have it there for the purpose of paying for itself. That's what it's for. I'd say just leave it in the contingency, and we'll take it when we need it. You know, you're a better judge of that than I am sitting here, so. You know, that's the point of that contingency.
Everyone agree with that? Bring it back to us next week.
Okay, we'll be back.
Appreciate it. I think you're doing a great job, Danielle.
Thank you.
Okay, the final item of this meeting is adjournment. Meeting is adjourned.